Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So today we're back in the metal shop and I've got several of these notes laying around with different sizes of these metal frames that I've got to make. So we're going to get to it. So one of the changes I've done since the last video is I added another one of these tables. And the reason I did that was for these longer frames, I can spread these apart instead of clamping them together and put one end on this side and one end on that side and weld these frames up a lot larger than what I had been using. The other thing that I found was I could just roll these together and clamp them and then make one solid table. The other thing by not bolting these together is I can make an L-shaped, and that came in handy the other day also on a little project. When I do want them to be solid, I can just clamp them together. So if I want these tables to be held together, I just take a C-clamp and clamp them together, and now I have a solid table. And of course I put these on casters so that I can roll them out of the way when they're not being used. The other thing I'm going to try today is I was talking to the guy at my local welding shop, and he swears by these cheater lenses. And so I'm going to try that out. So we've got a 2.0 cheater lens that just slides into this Hobart welding helmet. And let's see if we can see that. Okay, so there is the welding lens, and it's got two sides, obviously, because you've got two eyes. But the only thing that I see about that is you'll have to get the right distance from the work to be able to utilize that to the most of its effectiveness. So there's the view, and I'll move the helmet out of the way, and we'll see what it goes to non-magnified. So pretty good distance and difference, so we'll try that out as well. I started using that Miller helmet, and that was a $300 helmet, but honestly, if a $5 lens can give similar results, I'll let you all know. Okay, and here are the doors that these frames are going to go on. So we're just going to remeasure these and confirm that, because I made one of these frames the other day that ended up being the wrong size, and that was a pain in the butt. So once we confirm the measurements, we're going to get to it. Okay, so I found I want to mark this outer edge on these pieces of steel, and the problem I had was holding it up while I'm trying to measure it. So check this out. We just took a block of wood and put a magnet on it. Now it holds it up, and we can mark these ends. Of course, the tape measure wants to stick to the magnet too, but that's not a big deal. So, like I said, when we're done with this job, if we don't need this anymore, we can take it off, and no problem with our bench. And the reason I want to mark them on the edge is this chop saw cuts way more efficiently with the piece held like this than it does through there. And even though it's cutting through the same amount of steel, it sure does it a lot quicker and easier like this. So that's what we're doing. And on this saw, hearing protection and eye protection is pretty important. That just cuts so much better from the edge than it does cutting from the flat. So that's why we're doing that. And it looks like this is still 23.5, so we'll cut the second. Okay, 11 1/4. This is 1/4 inch thick, and man, it goes through that like butter on edge. Down here, it's not so much. Okay, now with our pieces together, I go ahead and mark where the center one goes, and then I mark everything for grinding. So this is pretty simple. Mark these edges. And the reason I'm doing this is because sometimes I'll grind this edge instead of that edge if I'm not paying attention. And I don't like that. So I just mark the edges that need ground. And then I need to measure that and make sure I got it in the right spot. Okay, in the middle of this is going to be 11 inches right between them. So there we go. And we'll grind this all out. Okay, in grinding, I still wear my hood and my hearing protection. And I just grind the top for the weld, and then I clean the mill scale off the top. Trying to make sure I get a good weld. Okay, what I found is if I clamp this all down, I don't even really need to tack it very much. So, make sure we got it. Let me go to the corner here. Okay, I think that's going to do it. Throw a few more clamps on there just for good measure. Okay, one of the things I really like about this table being on wheels is I can sit here and just spin this table around and make all my welds left to right while I'm sitting here at the right height with the right distance from the workpiece. So, like I said, that's kind of nice. You could swing the actual work around, but I find, like I said, this rolling table pretty nice. Okay, and I've got your welding mask on you for you. You don't get a respirator, sorry. But I'm gonna weld using the cheater lens, the 2.0 in the Hobart hood. And what I'll do is, if I like how that is, I'll try and figure out an arc shot for that for you. All right, here we go. We'll see how it works. That thing worked pretty good. So now I'm just going to spin this around. Okay, let's try this out. All right, I like that. I think I welded to my table a little bit, but we can deal with that. All right. Beautiful. Okay, I think I like these cheater lenses. All right, let's take these clamps off and see if we have to bust our frame free from the table. Which that happens from time to time. Not really a big deal. Look at that, not welded to the table at all. Pretty nice. That anti-splatter spray really does do a nice job. It makes the steel a little slick on the table, but I think it's worth it to not have to worry about sticking your welds. So these look pretty good. I'm not that happy with that one there. I'll probably do a little grind action up here, but those are nice. All right, so we got one more to do. Let's get her done. Okay, so these cheater lenses, I bought this from my local welding shop for like $5. And if you can see in there, so it's just got two sides, and that's a number 2.0. Let me see if I can get up here where you can see through it. See how it's two separate lenses. And then what I was worried about was, you know, I assumed it would bring it into focus good. But I thought it would be a fixed distance, like I'd have to be exactly 18 inches or something from it. And it's actually clear in focus for me. Let's see if I can get my eyes about where they'd be. So from about 6 inches from the mask to about arm's length, which on me is about 3 foot, it's pretty clear. So I like them. And if you don't want to buy the more expensive helmet, this would be an option for one of these Hobart helmets. And this is the Hobart Inventor. It's got the 4 sensors. It's actually a pretty good welding helmet, but it's I think it sold for about $150, and I couldn't see anything through it. By adding the cheater lenses and this drape cloth on the back to keep light from getting in the backside of it and making glare, I'll tell you what, I can see almost as good as I can see out of my higher dollar helmets. So something to think about. All right, well, I'm going to end that video here. I'm probably going to time lapse some of these other frames I'm going to make. But if you like the video, give us a like. It definitely helps the channel. And we invite you to subscribe to see more. Have a great day and be safe.